अनन्ताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाक्षिशिरोर्बाहवे सहस्रनाम्ने पुरुषाय शाश्वते सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः। नमस्तेस्तु महामाये श्रीपीठे सुरपूजिते शङ्खचक्रगदाहस्ते महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। Namaste to all viewers in Dharmasamvad. Today we will talk about the Diwali. Very important discussions, very important informations will be shared on this platform. Without wasting time, our host will take over from me, and then after we will introduce our guest, and then we will open our talk for all the viewers, and hope you will be learn something new today from us. So Yashika Bin will be take over from me, and then Bhagwan will bless all the devotees with more love, enthusiasm, and happiness. Yashika Bin.
Namaste, Vanakkam, Namaskaram, and welcome everyone to another edition of Dharmasamvad. As you know, Diwali is a very important festival in the Hindu calendar. And globally, Hindus will be celebrating this wonderful festival, this festival that leads us from a journey of darkness into light. And this year has been a very difficult year because COVID-19 has impacted us. And so our communities have come together in order to commemorate this very auspicious time. In the year, we have also realized that many Hindus were confused about some of the dates of the festival as well as the important Muhurat times. We are going to explain that today in this program. So on today's show, we have Kiratbhai Acharyaji, who is none other than the founder of Dharmasamvad and is also the resident priest of the Sri Radhe Shyam Mandir in Marlborough in Johannesburg. We also have with us Sri Lokesh Bhai, who is the head of the Priest Council of the South African Hindu Mahasabha, and he's also an executive member of the Sri Sanatan Dharma Sabha in South Africa. Together on the show, we have Pauline Naidu, who is the Vice President of the South African Hindu Mahasabha in Gauteng. She's been involved in many activities in the community and also has been part of the South African Tamil Federation for a very long time. We also have with us an attorney, Sunil Singh, and he'll be sharing with us a little bit later on the show the idea around celebrating the festival and fireworks and some of the controversy that has happened in the community. And he will share with us some of the areas around the constitution as well as the bylaws. Welcome everybody to the show. But first up, we would like to go to Pandit Shri Kiratbhai Acharyaji, who will explain a little bit about the Deepavali, the Festival of Lights, what it means, and why it's celebrated over a few days, not just one day, as many of us like to imagine. Panditji?
Namaste, Yashika. Namaskar, Vanakkam, and Siyabona to all our Dharmasamvad listener. My pranam to one and all.
Pranam, Panditji. Panditji, we were just talking a little about the festival of Diwali. Can you share with us why is Diwali over a few days, not just one day? And what does it mean over the period of time that we celebrate this wonderful festival of lights?
So, Yashika Ben, normally we speak 5 days, right? And then if you add the New Year for the Gujarati, as Gujarati celebrate New Year day after the Diwali, where the community, the business community of India, the Gujarat especially, they close the old ledger and then open the new one, the account books. And we add the Bhai Dooj, which is Bhai Beach, the bond between brother and sister celebrate also after the 2 days of Diwali, 2 day later of the Diwali. So Bhai Dooj. So sometime, sorry. So
No, no,
sometime is a
that's
60
fine.
days. Yeah.
Yes, I see. And sometimes India is far more of an agricultural society, and harvest times means a lot to many communities, especially in the north
Yes.
of India and also in the south of India, because everything is related to Mother Nature for providing us with sustenance and with growth. And during this
Yeah.
time, we offer puja to Mother Lakshmi, and also during this time, there are several celebrations that are taking place. So I would like to go to Gopal Vyasji, Panditji. There's been some confusion on the auspicious times or the Murat during the festival of Deepavali. Can you perhaps explain to us why this is so and perhaps clarify the important auspicious times?
Okay, thank you for inviting me on this talk. Let me explain basically what actually, as Kirit mentioned about it. The Diwali is not a one day. Diwali is actually seven days celebrations. Now it start from the Ekadashi till the
Yeah,
Bhai Beach called the Bhai Dooj. In Hindi, it is Bhai Dooj. So Ekadashi called the Rama Ekadashi, which will be this year. It will be on the 11th of November. So what the calculation is Ekadashi, Dwadashi, Trayodasi, Chaturdashi, Diwali and Gujarati New Year together with the Govardhan Puja as well
yes,
as Bhai Dooj. That's how the mathematics we count it. So now when it's come to the Ekadashi called the Rama Ekadashi, which will be on the 11th of November next week, Wednesday, is celebrated. Significance we will be explained about in our next talk. Second day is called the Vak Baras. In Gujarati, this is Vag Baras, but actually a word called the Vak Baras plus Gauvas Dvadasi. So on that day, we pray to cow, who is our mother, and we pray to Mata Saraswati too on that day. Now the third day is very important, called the Dhanvantari Jayant, Dhanvantari Trayodasi, called the Dhan Teras. Trayodasi means ke 13th day of the lunar month. Teras, Gujarati we says Dhan Teras. On that day we pray to Dhanvantari Bhagwan who gives us a good health. Plus, in Gujarati tradition, we pray to the Mata Lakshmi કે ભાઈ ધન ધોવાનો time. એવી રીતે. So now the auspicious time this year will be a two different time. So the first we said it will be those the devotees who actually pray in the evening for them and the devotees who pray in the morning. Now, how the Tithi calculate sunrise to sunrise, and now this year there will be a slightly Tithi which is like say for a Dhanteras, Dhanvantari Jayanti on 12th day called the Vak Baras day. So the Vak Baras means the Vak Baras ending on 6 o'clock in the evening on 12th of November, which is the Thursday evening. Now those devotees who pray evening Dhanvantari Mata or Dhan Lakshmi Mata, for them is a Murat is Thursday evening, which is we call on the 12th of November evening Murat will be 1915 to the 2023. Means from 7:15 to the 8:30 in the evening, Thursday evening, those who pray in the evening. The devotees who pray in the morning, for them is the 13th of November Friday morning. There is a two time 8:30 to 10:30 and 11:30 to 1:15 because 2 o'clock Dhanvantari Tithi is ending and Chaturdasi is starting. So on
right.
Friday evening, Kali Chaudas, Narak Chaturdasi will be begun from 2 o'clock. And those who pray to the Kali Chaudas, Kali Mata or Hanumanji on that day will be 13th of evening and therefore the Diwali will be on the 14th. That's how
Right.
the mathematics starts. So in my next explanation, I will explain how to go to the Diwali celebrations, New Year, and Bhai Beach. So that's why I say there's three first and three after. If I'm going to speak all now, devotees and viewers will be get confused. So let's keep hold our thoughts now, and then we can come back in the next understanding.
So we can say it like pre-Diwali, Diwali, and post-Diwali. So
That maybe modern term we can use it like that. And first things, whatever we're saying here, just after show, myself and Kirit Bhai through the World Hindu priest organization, we are going to issue the 3-page document as a PDF format and the JPEG format, so that devotees can read all the information what we're going to say just
excellent. Thank you so much. Bahut dhanyavad.
now. No,
I
no
think that
problem. Thank you.
explains a lot in our lives and in our context why this particular period is so important. And in fact, we just finished Navaratri, and they often say 21 days after Navaratri is Diwali. So in that time, it was the Ravana was defeated by Sri Ram, and there was the journey back to Ayodhya. So in that time, even Narakasura was also defeated. So there's this wonderful logical calculation from the stories as well as the timing of the prayer that allows one to come into fullness, into absolute fullness of what Diwali actually means. So we know during this time, people clean their homes, they get their shrines ready, and they're all about the celebration of enjoyment and really coming together and celebrating with family. So I would like to introduce our next guest, which is Dr. Lokesh Maharaj, who is a lecturer at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. He's also a priest, and he's also the executive member of the South African Hindu Mahasabha. And recently, the Hindu Mahasabha had released a statement around the prayer times, and they were able to gather the various priests from the north, east, southwest of the country together in order to come to an understanding of the different days. So, Dr. Lokesh, please share with us this innovation from the South African Hindu Mahasabha, and why was it important for the different organizations to come together to actually guide the Hindu community during this prayer period?
Namaskar, Yashika ji, and namaskar to the viewers as well. And thank you very much for this opportunity to speak at this Dharmasamvad. Yes, you are correct. The South African Hindu Mahasabha had recently convened a meeting with priests from the Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, and Gujarati communities. Uh, because as people will know, the South African Hindu Mahasabha has been declaring festival dates for a number of years now. However, we do understand that sometimes there are different interpretations of the festival dates. There are different theoretical frameworks from which priests work. So, for example, many of us are smarthas, meaning that for us, the deities of Ganesh, Shiva, Krishna, Vishnu, Surya, Shakti, all have equal importance. And most of South Africans, Hindus, are smarthas. But you also have Vaishnavas who follow a particular Vaishnav sampradaya. And so, depending on which sampradaya you belong to, there are different ways in which the festivals are calculated. So, the South African Hindu Mahasabha, bearing in mind that we have people of different ideological backgrounds, we have people from different linguistic backgrounds who look upon the Mahasabha for direction as far as festivals are concerned. So we thought that it was important to bring people who have these different perspectives, who are from different linguistic groups, to come together and to work in unity to declare these dates. And we had a very successful meeting on the 6th of October, in which our Guruji Gopalji was there, Kirit Bhai Acharyaji was there. We also had other influential priests from the Hindi community and the Gujarati community. And on the 27th of October, we met with the Tamil and Telugu priests, the Devasthanam Foundation, as well as the Murga Bhakti Institute. So All these organizations have pledged to work together with the Mahasabha because, as you rightfully point out, the confusion that arose, for example, with the Krishna Ashtami date or with the number of days that one should celebrate Navratri, was because we interpreted these dates from a different theoretical framework. Now that we've brought everybody together, we have agreed to um, discuss among ourselves first before we declare dates. So we're currently looking at the 2021 dates, and we've almost reached consensus on that. Even though these dates have been declared, we are looking at them as a group together, and they have also pledged to work with the Mahasabha to declare the 2022 dates. So all the names that I've mentioned, all the people that are representing different linguistic groups will come together to declare dates so that people will understand that there is unity as far as the dates, and there will be very little confusion in the community. So it was a very
Excellent.
positive meeting, and everybody was very collegial, and they have all agreed to work for the betterment of Hindu Dharma in South Africa.
And I think that's the most important thing. The goal is to try and work together, to try and find out some of the reasons why certain dates are, have been looked at differently. But it also means there needs to be education in understanding the different sampradaya, the different contexts of where the diversity of Hinduism is. That we cannot be seen in isolation to the Abrahamic religions, for example, or any other spiritual path,
Mhm.
that within the vast diaspora of Hindu Dharma, there are so many variables, and we come from different, perspectives. So that type of education is also important, but also
Yes.
guidance in terms of simple ways of actually praying, because a lot of our youth today don't want to understand, and they run away to other faiths, for example.
Yes.
And for the Hindu custodians, isn't it important for them to try and make the prayer date simpler, more effective, and scientific, so that they are able to benefit from the deeper meaning of the festival?
No, absolutely, and that is why this initiative by the Mahasabha to bring together these diverse group of people, so that once we reach agreement and we understand, then we will be able to share that with the Hindu public in this country. We are also currently working on, because you mentioned prayer, so we are currently working on what we refer to at the moment. In the absence of any better terminology, is ad hoc prayer. So, for example, what should Hindus do in the morning when they wake up? How does one perform a car prayer, for example, Vahan Puja? Or what happens when death occurs in a family? A draft has already been prepared, and the priests that met on the 6th and 27th of October will now be consulted, and once they have made input on this, the Mahasabha will release that on its website as well. So there is work being done already to create some kind of guidelines for our Hindu public, so that so that you don't have to call a priest for every little puja that you want to do. Although we don't want to replace priests, but if somebody wants to do a havan, or if somebody wants to bless their car, or if somebody wants to perform a puja for a business, we should have some guidelines available. So, as I said, the draft is available, already prepared. We're now going to consult with all the priests, and once we have had input from all of them, a final document will be released.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And talking about prayer, Pandit Kirit Bhai, can you share with us some of the most important aspects of the prayer during this time? We know that Mahalakshmi is worshipped during this time. We also understand that that the need for family togetherness, the need for sustainability becomes critical. But we also offer prayer to Dhanvantri, in a few days before, because the nature of health becomes critical in the life of a Hindu. So, can you share with us a little bit about the types of prayer over these few days?
Thank you, Ashika Ben. first I compliment Lokesh Bhai and his team and the Hindu Mahasabha to doing all the efforts to the education for the community and unite all the Pandit. In Hindi, I like to say, वो पंडित लोग जल्दी साथ में बैठना नहीं करते. And it's a task, but it's a good move to unite all the Pandit. Your answer is the Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manu Rame Sahasra Nama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane. The Ram Nam itself, it's a puja. From the childbirth till the death, you take the body from the house outside. What they said, Ram bolo bhai Ram.
Yes.
Right? And when baby born, you say Ram Bhagwan ki krupa. Ram kare aisa ho jaye. Sahi hai. Ram Bhagwan bless us. We have children in our home. So from the time to the death, Ram Bhagwan is there. So yes, Diwali, it is the specific time to pray, where we pray to Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Ma Saraswati, and then now Durga Ma also. And then now New Year Day, people in India, they go to Amba Ma or Nav Durga Maya to visit Mandir. Beside that, I was explaining earlier when we was talking about the days celebration, where some people said 5 days, as I said, could be 7 days, and then. But when I was young and I was in a village, there the Diwali celebration start actually 1 month ago. Olden days, we have a brass, all the big matka, the brass one or the copper one, and they take out these old things. They start to wash and make like proper lighting on the clean one. The paint sometime done in the house. So celebration sometime go month, but you see the basic of our Hindu dharma is to every festival is unite and bring the fresh energy in a house. Right. It example Navaratri. In a Navaratri, our Mahila, our all the women, our sisters and all in a house, they naya sari laega, new clothing and all, and then get dressed and go to pray Mother Shakti or Mother Navdurga at the mandir, but full of energy. If you see in the evening time, all are dressed, get ready to pray, and then prepare all the puja goods and everything. So every festival is unite and bring lots of positive energy in individual life. From the Wag Baras, as Guruji said, in our Gujarati, sometimes they call Wag Baras. Wag is a tiger, and the Baras is the 12th day of the Ashwin Mas. But it's a Wag. Wag means speak, words. And who we pray to say Saraswati. Saraswati meri jihpe, mama jihvayam Saraswati vasatu. In my tongue, Ma Saraswati come and bless me. And why? He said, in this festival season, when the first day starting, the 12th day, what we need is to don't hurt the people during these auspicious days, these festival days, isn't it?
Yes.
Thoda bol diya, some words just to whole festival. Somebody bole, sometimes say, mera din mat bigado, don't spoil my day. But here it's a 5 days of celebration, and they said, pehla kaam kya karna hai? First you do Saraswati jihvayam vasati. Ma Saraswati come to your tongue and be sweet, be humble, be kind. Mahakali, Ma Shakti. Ma Shakti, where I want Ma Shakti to come in my hand. Why? Because give me strength that not only my Diwali I make celebration, but I also help people. Thoda haath mein Shakti de de, so I can help the other people, needy people. You see, Diwali is not just my home Diwali. Diwali is supposed to be every person, my next door neighbor who maybe morning period somebody died. I make the sweet meat and go and give it my own hand, Shakti, and give it to them. So it's a Diwali is, we always said the light, the Deepavali, the row of the lights, Jyoti. I said every lamp, every Jyoti must light the other Jyoti. Jyot se Jyot jagate chalo, prema ki ganga bahate chalo. So Diwali shouldn't be only those 5 days, but in fact it's supposed to be every days where we lead someone life by helping, or help them to have a beautiful Diwali like mine.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. So, Panditji, during this time, it's a time for forgiveness, it's a time for sweet words, and we must consider when the Vakya, the words of Mother Saraswati. So, every aspect of our entire life is a reckoning during this time.
Yes.
So we do not bear grudges to anyone.
Hmm.
We need to be in a space of simple living and higher thinking, as Mahatma Gandhi always said. But at the same time, aside from the joy and the festivity, there's a deeper inner joy that happens during this time as well. I'd like to ask Pauline Naidu, who is the representative of the South African Hindu Mahasabha from Gauteng, to maybe share a little bit about some of the festivities in the South Indian community during this time. What happens in the mornings? Is it, our children getting ready and prepared to celebrate this wonderful day when Sri Ram has entered their lives? And what happens in with the families, on the day before and the preparation leading up to Diwali as well? Please unmute. We can't hear you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Vanakkam, Yashika, and namaste and vanakkam to all our viewers and listeners. And thank you to the Dharmasamvad for allowing me this opportunity to be on this program today. Now, in the South Indian community, I think, like you said, the preparations start much before the day of Diwali. We generally celebrate, it's mostly over, like you said, 2 or 3 days or whatever. But what happens is that we clean our houses from, we do spring cleaning, and you clean the house, you cleanse the house. So we believe that Goddess Lakshmi enters your house on that day. So so we cleanse our houses, we clean our lamps, our puja places and whatever. On the morning of Diwali, we get up as a family, we take an oil bath, a 3 oil bath. We believe that that oil bath cleanses your system, and I think this is an age-old tradition that has been done throughout the years. And we get together as well. I think everything is being done as family, but COVID has made that a bit difficult as well for celebrations. But
Yes.
we go to the temple in the morning and we worship. We worship. I think when we're worshiping, we should be thankful. We are thankful of the fact that we have seen another Diwali, that the God has given us another day, he's given us another year, and he's allowed us the opportunity to actually make a difference in not just your family lives, but in the lives of others. We come home, we have a nice lunch with our families, and not forgetting that it's Diwali is, if we look at Deepavali, it means a row of lights. So in the evening, we light a whole lot of lamps and brighten our houses, so that I think what is also significant for us is that we all live in a very diverse country. So our celebrations, like we enjoy the celebrations of the New Year, the Christmas and whatever, we would like for the South African community, this diverse community, to see how we as Hindus celebrate some of our festivals. I mean, I know for the fact that some of my neighbors would come to me, and say, and they're not particularly Indian, they come to me and say, what the festival is all about. They take some lamps from me, they light it in their houses as well. So it's a way of sharing, of getting together and being diverse and being unified.
Absolutely. So it's strength in unity. And I think one of the fundamental pillars of Hinduism is the concept of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which means the whole world is one family. So whether we come from north or south or east or west, there's this wonderful connection and the celebration of this unity. And the reason why I asked this question is that it goes back into the spaces of gratitude. And when we do and offer the puja to Mother Lakshmi and to Ganeshji during this time, it is with an act of gratitude for what we have and for what we would like to have as we go forward in the future. So, Lokesh Bhai, if we take, for example, the next question to you, Pandit Lokesh Maharaj, is a journey internally. We've seen from Sister Pauline where she said that everybody gets together, the homes are cleansed, there's much preparation. And Panditji explained that during this time, the 3 days before, there's an act of forgiveness. Even the words that come out of our mouths has to be very pure. There's something happening to the internal nature of the soul. And the Ramayana teaches us a journey from gross state to the state of to the sublime reality. Can you tell us a little bit about the deeper meaning of Deepavali?
Okay, so I think what is important for us to understand is that Deepavali is a deeply adhyatmic or spiritual festival. So, in the midst of all the fun that we have in terms of the fireworks, in terms of the savories and the sweetmeats that we eat, we must never forget that the spiritual aspect of Diwali. So, the pujas, the recitation of mantras, darshan of God in the temple, reading of scriptures, singing of bhajans and kirtans, these should not be excluded from our celebrations. And you mentioned the Ramayana. So, what we need to understand is that the Ramayana is a darpan, and darpan means it's a mirror. So, if we look into the Ramayana, we need to find ourselves in there. And if I look into the Ramayana and I find that I'm behaving like Ravan, then I need to change my habits. I need to change my activities so that I can be more like Sri Ram or Lakshman or Bharat. So each one of us gets an opportunity to look into the Ramayana and to assess who we are and to assess where we are in our lives. And this is where the connection between Ramayana and Diwali comes into being. So Diwali is an occasion to take stock of ourselves. It's an occasion to self-reflect and to ask ourselves, how have I been acting in the last year? Have my activities been dharmic? Have I behaved in a dharmic way? What seva have I done? Have I just served myself, or have I also served others in society? And the Ramayana is a good reminder of this kind of seva. So you look at the Kevat, for example, and the seva that he performed to Sri Ramchandraji. Or if you look at Lakshman, and the seva that he performed to Sri Ramchandraji. So the Ramayana is a reminder to us that life is not just about us. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that the reason why we have been placed on this earth is to perform yajna. And yajna is not just havan, yajna is any dharmic karya. So we have been sent here not just to accumulate material wealth, not just to enjoy the pleasures of life. The purpose we have been put onto this earth is so that we can serve Bhagwan. And the way to serve Bhagwan is to serve the community. Because when I serve a human being, a fellow human being, and he blesses me, it effectively means that God has blessed me. So we must never forget the spiritual aspect of Diwali, and Diwali is very closely related to Ramayana, and Ramcharitmanas teaches us about our spiritual obligations.
Absolutely. I think that is very, very well encapsulated, because too often we get caught up in the material. People are running around trying to, wear new clothes, buy new clothes, make 100 types of sweetmeats because they want to keep up with the Joneses, as it were. But rather, we should have the sweet of the of the word and the sweet of the nature, in terms of our character development. I think some of the fundamental lessons of the Ramayana is about education and character. So I'd like to pose the next question to Pandit Kirat Bhai in terms of how the Ramayana shares with us character building ideals and why character is so important when we reflect during Diwali.
So in India, there is a saying that said, if you want happy house or happy family, keep Ramayana in house, and disrupt then said keep Mahabharata in house. Actually, those some people also advise that don't keep the Mahabharata in house, but that's a different people, different thoughts. Every single characters play the vital role in Ramayana. Every single, from a Dasa Ratha, and meaning Dasrath itself, Ratha, it's an Indriya, your senses. Dasa means 10. If you control those Ratha, which is, as I said, your senses, your or all the desires. My eyes want to only see the best. My ear want to see, listen the best. My tongue want to taste best. Those desire when you control and pray to Paramatma. Remember, Dashrath Raja also did the yagya, Putreshti yagya. As earlier Lokesh Bhaiji explained, the Satakaryam. And when you control your sensor and you do Satakarma, then Bhagwan Ram come in your home. You're not just Bhagwan Ram jaisa beta in come in your home, your Sita Ma jaisi beti just come like that. It's a sacrifice, a tapam, japam, danam, punyam, tathaivacha.
Absolutely. And
So,
taking into account the characters in the Ramayana
yes.
brings to us the situation of the story in itself. And I would like Pandit Gopal Vyasji to maybe share a little bit about the puja when we perform on the day itself. Why do we have to have the bedi? What is the significance of actually, putting the coconut, the nariyal, and maybe share a little bit about that, and so that the average Hindu he's armed with this knowledge, and because you are not able to be there during this COVID lockdown, they are able to do that puja very carefully and very scientifically.
Okay, so what happened basically, Diwali celebrations, we have talked in a length about it. Now, when it's come to the prayer time, there are the basic minimum prayer and there are the lengthy rituals. I will use word called the rituals, which has been introduced in a different ways. So we're not going to go in that rituals talk. We're going to talk in a basics. What is the basic one can do it? So, for example, that 7 days which I explained, on those there's 7 days or 5 days, at least we can wash our main entrance with the using the Ganga Jal, make the swastik on two sides, and make the 5 dots and the main entrance. The 5 dots represent: one is a Ganesh, two Siddhi and Buddhi, Laksh and Labh. So in our house, the main thing is energies comes through the entrance. So we block the negative energy at the entrance by making the two swastika and invoking the Ganpati Bhagwan at the entrance. More important is the Toran. Toran means a garland. We have to make garland. In these days, we look the convenient. We put the plastic garlands and other things. We always recommend use the little bit energy. Make the garland with the mango leaves. If you can put the one or two flowers every second day, please change it. So that will be bring a freshness in the house. As soon as you do the basic prayers, so we have like listed what you can do, but like as you said, coconut. What is the representation of the coconut? If if I explain, it will be take a long evening, but that's why the speakers has to be understand when to control it themselves. Now that coconut, if you look at the coconut itself, coconut carry the water compared to the other fruits. Other fruits carry the juice, but coconut carry the water. And coconut water is a fresh water despite the growing into the front of the ocean. Ocean water is a salty water. There is a way, that's the one thing we must understand. The creator is sending us a message. Sansar is like samudra, vast, different mindset, different personality, different people, different ideology. We have to live with it. But inside, we as individuals, we should live like coconut. Coconut inside is soft and sweet. We must correct ourselves. We must change ourselves. We must live soft. We must follow, as we all our previous speaker spoke about good word, nice word, sweetness. Most important is we must be sweet towards everybody. Once what we give is going to come back to us. So that's why the coconut is very important. Mango leaves is very important. As you said, Bedi you can design the best what you can do. I will not elaborate because why? We are in a COVID situation. Some people maybe actually afford, some people maybe not afford. So best availability in the individual lives, financially, resources wise, whatever. Just put the red material, put the lamp, basic things, oil lamp, ghee lamp, whatever we can light it. Do it that. Put the one coconut, copper lotto, or brass lotto, or steel lotto, whatever. Put the Gangajal in. We know the Gangajal. As I said, Gangajal is a holy river. We all of us know. If you bring the holy river Gangajal water from the India and keep in your house even 10 years, that water will stay completely fresh. It will not affect with anything. So that is called the power of the devotion. When we use the Gangajal, means the power of the devotion. Whatever you do with your faith, it will be stay for so many years with you with kindness, humbleness. Okay. Then things, basic things, as I said, light the five lamp, Ganesha lamp, Lakshmi lamp, Kuber lamp, Devi lamp. So those are the God will be walk into the. So it will be a long explanation will come on social media. Various people will be spread so many words and about it. But basic we are trying to make understand our younger generation. Now when it's come to the lamp on that day, lamp make a huge difference. Let me explain to you about this lighting the lamp. As we was talking about the Ramayana teaches the most important things our life is called the forgiveness. Bhagwan Sri Ram 14 years spent into the forest and everything. When he came back, he did not say any single utter word bad about the Mata Kaikai, about the Bharat. He accepted. Once that acceptance comes, entire Ayodhya has lit up with the lamp. And that is called we must accept, because we must understand every human is not like what is your level. Every human have a different intelligence, different level of the thoughts. And we must accept, and we must try to, if we can correct, we must try to correct, and we must explain them. Try to understand the some other person mindset. Try to understand person's ideology. We don't know what's going through in the person mind. So this is what Bhagwan Sri Ram teaches. Second one, most important, we teach respect parents and grandparents. Despite we are in a COVID situation, if you cannot visit personally, that's fine. Make sure okay, all 5 days you must make a one video call to your parents and one video call to your grandparents. You must do that. So that's where the culture comes. And all other speakers have spoke lengthy, so I will not go in that details. And now Diwali, it will be on the 14th, Saturday evening. So that day, Lakshmi and Kuber, we do the prayer. So Lakshmi, who is Lakshmi? We all of us know in our houses, Lakshmi is our Mata, our sisters, our Dharmapatni. They are the Lakshmi. We pray together with the Lakshmi and we pray to the Lakshmi Mata. So what we have done this year, basically, myself and Kirit, we have organized online puja. If any devotees would like to take part in that puja, that poster will be on screen just now after that. So you can see and you can contact us. So we will send you the link how to do and how to enter in that puja. So to make it easy for all the devotees, since we can't go everywhere, so we have come up with the new idea. And most important, before I end here, I said we are in a COVID situation. Remember, the COVID is one of the dark part of our history. But Ram Bhagwan teaches leave the dark part behind, think about the light. So now don't those the family or those are individuals are in depressions, are in a stress, are in anxiety, are in a different, leave that all part out. Look, the light is waiting for you. As soon as Diwali will be over, bright light is waiting for us, all of us. Our future is very bright. Think positive, live positive, and talk positive. Positive will happen to us. That is the Diwali. That is the prayers. And if I will have a time, I will come back again. But thank you for inviting me.
We've just
And
we've just got a few minutes, so I need to go to the next speaker. But that
yes,
is absolutely beautiful, beautiful message. I think the COVID has presented us with such darkness and despair that when we look towards Diwali, we look at it towards the light. And speaking about light, we come to the next issue that has plagued the community for a very long time, and that has been the issue of fireworks. Now, we know fireworks has been an integral part of Diwali, and for generations, this idea of celebrating the light of Rama in our lives, the light of knowledge, has been done through the expression of fireworks. So, Sunil Singh is an attorney in Durban, and he's been a practicing attorney for over 20 years. And he is here to share with us a little bit about the issue of fireworks during Diwali. Firstly, Sunil Bhai, fireworks in Diwali has been seen as an important part of the celebration, but we often get plagued by the animal rights activists, etc., to say that we are harming dogs and pets, etc., which is not the case of the Hindu mind and the Hindu, ideology. Can you share with us the freedom of expression, context from the Constitution, as well as how can we mitigate such issues on social media as well as in the newspapers right now?
Namaskar, Yashka Didi, and namaste to the fellow companions, and vanakam and namaskaram to everybody. We've come from a historical background of, of being indentured laborers back from the times of our forefathers. And with that came our culture of celebrating Diwali and other religious festivals, to mention a few. However, with that, in the 1970s, the latter part of the 1970s, fireworks was banned. But prior to that, there was a free use of fireworks by all Indians and everybody else in the circumstances. However, then came our dispensation in terms of the Constitution, which was in 1996. Now, in that Constitution, then the fireworks were unbanned. And in terms of the relevant sections of the Constitution, namely Section 9.3, 15.1, 30, and 31, which encompasses the right to religious practice in the form of culture and that of language and that of any other factor that is associated with anybody in this country, which gives them the right to then obviously practice any religious functions. But come with that is the issue of limitations. Obviously, you don't have to transgress the rights of another person. That is when there's an issue. But having said that, in light of what is in the Constitution in itself, allows every human being within the parameters of South Africa and that of any other country to practice their religious beliefs and their cultural practices. Now, as far as that is concerned, that caters for the issue of the Constitution and that of the religious right to religious practice. Anything else beyond that has to be justified in the fact that it outrights and outweighs that of the Constitution and the rights of anybody else. And similarly, like the Panditjis all said, whatever you do to the betterment of mankind and do not harm the next person. Like the other Panditji said, that if you celebrate Diwali, one day Diwali must be every day. Good things must come out of your mouth on a daily basis. Good deeds must come out of you on a daily basis. And not only a particular day or to a particular segment of the community. It must be across the board. That is what our Dharma preaches and tells us, that you must be good to one and good to all. And in that way, like when you do the Satnarayan Katha, when you go through all those chapters, what he teaches at the end of the day? To reach salvation and to serve mankind, like the Panditji said. When you serve mankind, you serve God. Now, going to the issue of the legalities of lighting of fireworks. In the Durban area, the head of the Metro Police, Steve Middleton, issued an instruction and also a direction with regards to the manner in which fireworks are to be used during this period of time. It's up on the website. It can be easily attained, but I will just to inform the viewers and give them an insight as to what it is. Firstly, people under the age of 16 should not be lighting fireworks and handling fireworks. Secondly, animals and other religious places and churches and the like obviously the fireworks have to be lit no more less than 500 meters from them. Also, with regards to the issues of animals has to be taken care of when fireworks are being lit. Now, it's a two-pronged exercise. As much as you lighting fireworks, you obviously be considerate towards the animals. And the animal owners and the like, in the same breath, has to be cognizant of their animals and obviously provide them with necessary tranquilizers and obviously make them comfortable in order to not be traumatized by the loud bangs of the fireworks. Unfortunately, our law does allow for the importation of these fireworks, and if it was contrary to the law, they were not brought into the country in the first place. So therefore, as the Indian community, we are entitled to celebrate Diwali and obviously light the fireworks in the manner which is responsible and towards the consideration of the fellow mankind. Now, what is of greater concern is that from the time immemorial, from the time fireworks were created, people were using fireworks as a celebratory item, whether it's a Rugby World Cup, whether it's a Soccer World Cup, whether it's any festival, they were allowed to use fireworks. Even in our country as well, it is allowed. So my question is simply, why create a distinction between our Diwali and that of celebrating any other function? New Year's, people are allowed to light fireworks between 11:45 and 12:15. Guy Fawkes, people are allowed to light fireworks between 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Middleton is not very clear with regards to the time period within which fireworks need to be lit during the period of Diwali. But however, one must bear in mind that you have to obviously take into consideration other people go to work the next day, other people obviously have to sleep. So in the circumstances, if people could be respectful towards other people and light the fireworks at an appropriate time and not 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning and be considerate to other people, I'm sure we will not have a problem. Also, the other aspect of people driving around in their vehicles, going to intimidate people that are celebrating Diwali, they must desist from doing that. Because in the event they continue doing that, all they're doing is they are marring the celebration that we so much enjoy one day in 365 days. I hope that satisfies your queries and obviously answers all the questions people may have. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for summarizing the entire conundrum that has been happening in social media recently. So Hindus, you have a right to celebrate Diwali with fireworks, but take into account your responsibility to everyone around you, not just animals, but also to everyone around you. I think that becomes important. And also to the rest of the country, it's important for people to understand that the bursting of fireworks is actually symbolic of the bursting of enlightenment as well. So be responsible, take care, and I think it's an important time for everyone to come together during Diwali. So with these few words, I'd like to ask Pandit Lokesh Maharaj just to share a 2-minute message to the country, and then I would like to go to Kirit Bhai to end the program.
Thank you, Yashika ji. I'd like to wish all South Africans a prosperous Diwali, and may all their wishes be fulfilled. And as we have been emphasizing, we have a right to celebrate Diwali. We have a right to celebrate with fireworks, but with these rights comes responsibilities, and I'm confident that Hindus in South Africa will celebrate this Diwali in a responsible way, taking into account the situation that we find ourselves in. Happy Diwali to everybody.
Thank you so much. Before I go to Kirit Bhai, Pauline, can you share a message to South Africa and to our youth?
Okay, on behalf of the Hindu Mahasabha, I'd like to wish all our viewers, Hindus and non-Hindus, like I said, we would like diversity in this celebration. So we like to wish you a very, very happy Diwali. To our listeners, to our youth, we're in a stage of COVID-19 right now. And the best way that we can celebrate, and I urge you to please celebrate responsibly. Wear your masks, forget the buffets, and be responsible, because during Diwali we meet all our grandparents, the youngsters and whatever, and we know that the older people are more can easily contact this disease. So let's think of them and celebrate responsibly.
Thank you very much. Panditji, with those few words, we'd like to say thank you to everyone and have a wonderful and festive and a time of inner reflection during this Deepavali. Over to you, Panditji.
Thank you, Yashika Ben. As always, wonderfully you run the entire show. And as I said earlier, it's an opportunity to reach out to our youngsters and educations, and our message reach to every community, every corner of our community, to our societies. As Sunil Bhai so nicely put about when the soccer games or the crickets, or as I know IPL also, when South Africa was every 6 they used to burst the crackers. So and then secondly put that if it's not allowed, then why they bring in the South Africa? You see the so big shops. My message to the Hindu community, not to just to encourage just go and burst. When we said it's allowed, it's not means just mash up and big bang. Don't do the big bang, because it's yes, of course, does affect to the animals, but do the small one. Even anar, you stand with your children and that one small one anar called, when you light so nice stars comes out, it's give a pleasant, it's a happiness for the children. I do every year the small starlights. It's just small and little cheaper, but it's if you see your children, it's happiness, it's a joy. It's not to just to disturb somebody's life, but bring the happiness in our children and our family life. But same time also like to I said those secular and then the liberal, those who wake up only during the Hindu festival time. When Shivratri comes, he said, why you offer the milk and why don't donate to the poor? Those
Yes.
Ganesh Chaturthi come and they said, why put the Ganesha in the water? And the same when Navratri comes is a noise pollution. So it's a balancing. When I'm talking about balancing, yes, we do the fireworks, but with responsibility, as Lokesh Bhai said. At the same time, message to all the liberal and secular. When I said liberal and secular, because within our community, they are the people. Those who join the voice of those who want to disrupt our festivals. Like last year, we had that in many places, many complexes, where our own people join and then and make the noise. Understand that's the Hinduism, not just a one-day-old religion or traditions. It's 1,000 years. And people, those who plant these seeds, explanation is not a guru or the Gokul or the Gurukulam or the universities. It's your parents, those who was responsible. Remember, Hinduism, it's a Guru Parampara or Pitru Parampara. My Guru taught me, that's why I'm today Pandit. But you are earlier Sunil Bhai was explaining back of the studio, wonderful things. But where he learned, it's Mata Pita, the Katha, the Vedi, the Janda, all those things you not went to the learn in a Gurukulam. It was your parents. So your parents also taught you the responsibilities. How to be a kind Hindu. The Vaishnava jana to konere kahiye je peed parai jane re. One who understand other people pain, that's a Vaishnava and that's a Hindu. So we don't have to learn from other people. We know what is right and how to do it with responsibility. So leave for the all people, those who celebrate, but same time also the advice for our Hindu community, do with responsibility. Namaste. Next week, Thursday, we're going to have our show on the Diwali wishes. We will ask all the organization head, all the religious organization and the leader and the Pandit and many different countries people to send the video of the 1 minute with the wishes. But tell them in a COVID, don't say COVID, COVID, COVID. Say Govind, Govind, Govind. COVID will goes away. Jai Shri Ram. Namaste.
Jai Shri Ram.
All our participants.